Hey, everybody. Welcome back and better than ever. We are the Ramen Room.
Ramen Room.
This is Randall, and that voice you hear back there is none other than Hassan Hancock.
What's going on, guys? What is going on?
We are fresh off the tail end of E3 week. Busy time in the game industry. Came and went, so we're going to kind of go over our thoughts. We kind of gave our ideas on Microsoft, so we're going to talk about Sony and Nintendo, their presentations, and kind of give our opinions on the rest of the show. And then next week, we're back to our normal format of comics, games, goodies, all the things you love, and anime as well.
Yeah.
So, kicking us off, Sony, man. Your boys.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, guys, I want to just apologize right now.
Oh, yeah, programming note, man. He's
got the sniffles right now.
That cat.
Yeah.
Cat dander's hacking, man.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cat, guys, and I got hit. They got me. So you're going to be hearing a lot of that on the thing. But we're going to get over that, though. Just pray for me. Keep your prayers.
We will soldier through.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. But he said something about Sony, man. You know what? I wanted to like it so bad because you kind of go into E3 expecting Sony to knock it out of the park.
Especially the last few years, they've been doing it really well. And, we weren't together, but after we watched Microsoft and we kind of talked about it, I was thinking, well, I felt like Microsoft missed an opportunity with their Xbox One X price, so I expected to see a Sony price drop. I expected to see Sony do something to take advantage of Microsoft's, because they had a good show, but the overall impression was like it was okay, but everyone was expecting more from Sony, and I feel like they kind of went out and laid an egg a little bit. It wasn't a terrible show, but it wasn't up to what you'd expect, and I wonder if they kind of put themselves in that position after so many years of putting games farther out. They kind of have to get caught back up, and then this might be a kind of a lull year for them.
Well, I think like with price drops and all that, I think Microsoft and Sony both are just all over the place with these price points. I mean, you got the OG Xbox One, you got the Slim, you got this Xbox One X, you got the PS4 Pro, you got the PSVR.
It's really funny that
it's all over the place.
That where console hardware has gone, that it's emulating the PC space for so long it's been the stability of console hardware and the fact that you pay something, it's the same hardware all the time. And that really hasn't changed, but because there's a larger gap between consoles, and like you said, there's so many different prices out there, it's a lot more like, what do I want to spec my PC to? It's interesting that we've taken that turn. But like you said, I mean, a lot of it is the economic climate. Sony's doing well. They're making money. They really don't need to price drop. And, I don't know how Sony...
They're making a shit ton of money on that daggone that PSN.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in sales. I mean, that's
I know Microsoft is kind of positioned. They don't see the Xbox One X as a PS4 Pro competitor because it's stronger. I don't know what Sony sees. So maybe Sony doesn't care. They're like, hey, we're making money hand over fist.
No,
they don't sell that many pros, so whatever.
They don't have to change the price point because they jumped out the gate with 500. Right. It'll dilute their brain if they say, you know what, we're just going to drop the PS4 Pro down to, let's say, $350.
Right.
I mean, because if you do something like that, then you will, without a shadow of a doubt, you'll have to drop the PS4 Slim down to $200. Right. So you can equalize.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because, if you'd have told me that a week ago, I would have thought you might have been a little crazy, but the way people who reacted positively to the Xbox One price, which I understand the value, you can't really build a PC that at that spec level for that price, but people are apparently willing to pay more. If you can sell them that it's premium, they'll pay it. So PS4 Pro, like you said, they don't want to dilute their brand or the image by dropping it too low, so, hey... More power to them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and not that. I mean, they got this kind of like this whole pompous thing going on for themselves. I mean, they know they're at like what 60.4 million sold through units, and they don't have to really go to nobody asking for advice or what they need to do. And, I mean, who cares? Microsoft, we have more consoles out there. Who cares?
Right, yeah.
Who cares about your stallion of a beast of a machine? Like, who cares? Like, we have the Pro and that's that. And guess what, guys? We got these games that all play the same. Right. And that's what Sony's E3 conference was for me. Everybody knows I'm a big Sony fan. I'm an even bigger Nintendo fan.
This means something if he's saying it. If he's saying this.
Yeah, I told you. I walked in wanting to like it.
Right.
I was like, okay, like, it's over.
Yeah,
I mean, I was Kodak Theater or one.
Yeah,
it's like a movie, and they do that every year, guys. For those who don't know,
they also do that weird camera stuff every year, where like the camera doesn't know what it's doing, and like
like
I was watching the beginning, and they showed the Uncharted that like spinoff little DLC or spinoff series thing they're doing, and couldn't hardly hear the audio. I don't know. I don't know who does that for Sony, but every year someone manages to mess up. They do. I don't understand why that's the only thing they can't get together.
I just couldn't. I mean, we're going to start with some of the games. So let's start with one of the biggest games that they had on their stage. We're going to talk about Monster Hunter World.
Oh yeah, that was obviously the
big blow to Nintendo. So people think. Yeah. I mean, I've heard.
Well, I mean, and it's funny. It's a big. I think it's a big deal. I mean,
it is a big deal.
I mean, it's like I said, for the people who like Monster Hunter, the people that play it, it's a rabid following. Big in Japan, and especially like you said, between Nintendo and Sony, where that battle is raging in Asia. We haven't heard whether or not it's on Switch. I mean, have they said anything like?
It was a rumor.
Cagey,
it was a rumor.
Right.
It was a rumor like it was on NeoGAF.
Yeah,
saying that the Monster Hunter leaker who was right about Monster Hunter Cross
And the leaker saying that it's not coming as?
The leaker saying that it is, like the development team is now going to be focusing on having that game on Switch. At first, I mean, the rumor was Sony paid to not have that game on Nintendo. Right. That's a weird payment scheme.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe they wouldn't look at it or phrase it as in don't put it as much as they're paying for exclusivity.
Yeah, but it's on Microsoft. So I mean,
that would be. Yeah, I guess that is weird.
Right, all right. So we're gonna pay to have this game made. Put it on our console. Damn, it's on Microsoft shit. Okay, we'll keep it there. But I'm gonna give you an extra $50 to make sure you don't put.
You don't look anywhere near Miyamoto. Don't even let them buy it.
Like, that's a tall order. I mean,
you're right. It would be weird. And I guess the thinking would be that since Microsoft doesn't compete in Japan where it's big, it doesn't matter. Yeah. The fact of the matter is, you're right. That doesn't make sense, and it would be a weird. And I just can't see them. I mean, because again, the series has history on Nintendo, so I can't imagine them skipping Nintendo
just completely.
Hardware.
Why would you do that?
Right. At
overall,
worst, they would do like another version of it. A more complete version they throw on the Switch, like something that wraps in the DLC, or maybe a year later. But yeah, I'd be surprised if it didn't come out on Switch.
Well, I mean, my thing is this too. I mean, the game has done so well, like you said, on Nintendo.
Yeah.
I mean, and over time, I mean, they've created all these like the dual swords and these powers, these lightning armors, all this different type of stuff that you have on the the main story, like the games in general. That when you see Monster Hunter World is like a return to the original game, but it's like got better visuals and I mean, are we really gonna be graphics whores like now? Right. I mean, what is this game? Who is it for, really? Right. I know it's for the Western audience. Right. But this game has never really been big in the Western audience. Right. It's always been a combination of both Western and Eastern. So I don't see why you would just say we're going to double down, double our efforts on trying to make this game popular in the West. Right. And take it all the way back. I just don't.
Yeah, and plus, like you said, you can go back to the looks of it. I mean, not like the game looked that great. Like it wasn't like it was just stunning.
Yeah, let's not act like it was going to blow up your graphics card on your PC.
Right? Yeah,
it's not. I mean, some of the things that they've taken off, like the I guess like one. It's not an open world, but it's like one big sandbox type.
Is it okay? I was wondering because that's what I thought. Like it was because I thought like in the ones you could like join up with people or whatever. And kind of open world setting.
Yeah, like use an item like you be fighting like a Galapagos, whatever. Yeah, and then you like to die, so you'll go to the other screen, right? So you can use the item and then you come back because that's where he's at. This game is so open. It's like, what I mean, like, because you can set a trap and then go out. You know what I mean? Like, so people got used to that kind of play.
Right. I mean, like you said, they made that game pile or switch to the game style or gameplay in Zelda. So I guess that maybe that. Maybe that's kind of the trend, or that's what they feel people want.
It's an early 2018 game too, so I mean, I just want to see because I heard it could like drop in multiplayer where anybody could just jump in. Which out.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I mean, that's one like I was saying, that's one aspect that always seemed interesting to me about Monster Hunter was being able to team up, for these giant monsters or whatever. So
I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. I mean, we'll see where the sales is at because the thing is this. Yeah, E3 it can tend to blow up. A certain thing out of proportion, and then when it comes out, then you really see who really wants the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think this game by any means, by any means is going to tank. I don't think that. but I just really, I mean, because the people who watch E3 are people who like video games anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. Like the guy who picks up Black Ops and only Black Ops is still probably not going to pick up Monster Hunter.
Yeah, he's not
watching E3 and he's not picking it up.
No, he went to go see Tupac.
Right.
It's like, I gotta go to work and go, so I can go on this date on Friday with my lady. You know what I mean? So it's like he don't know what E3 is. What is it? What is the E mean? Why is it E? Why is it 3 of them?
Yeah. All he gets is there's some new announcements that come out this time of year occasionally, or like, oh, did you hear? New Call of Duty's got like 2 zombies.
Oh, did y'all see that new trailer for Madden? I mean, that's and not everybody gets into that. I mean, but. I mean, this type of gamer is excited about Destiny because they heard about it on his favorite publication. He saw it on IGN.
Right. Like he sees a commercial and he's like, "Oh, this commercial." Someone's like, "Hey, in Destiny, you get like 20 people."
He's not sitting at home, on a Monday at 9:00 watching.
Right. The ones that kind of get the details like kind of wrong.
And I know for a fact that a lot of people are doing that because when Sony's conference came on, that was the NBA Finals. So we know who was watching that. Right. A good portion of America was watching that. So, I mean, let's be real. Right. But we'll see. We'll definitely see.
So, going through the show and then picking off what I remember. So, Uncharted, did that move the needle for you at all, the spinoff?
I'm not really into Uncharted.
Yeah.
That's more Sony, catering, like pandering to the Western. I mean, because I think the game had too much of a long run.
Yeah, it's going for a while.
Yeah, and it's not.
I would be surprised. I doubt it's even done as a series. Like maybe they're going to use it as a pivot to those characters, or to try to play around with using people who aren't Nathan Drake.
I'm just not really. I mean, but I will say I'll probably go pick up Uncharted 4. I see that there it is. I haven't even played Uncharted 4 or 3. Yeah. I can't remember 2. Did I even play 1? I don't know. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I think it's a terrible game.
Right.
I just know that between that or Persona 5, I'm probably gonna get Persona 5.
Right.
Even though they came out at different times.
Yeah.
That's
Persona.
My focus.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That. So I guess my question, going along those lines, then we kind of talked about it after Days Gone. It looked like it had a good showing, but again, as we kind of said, it kind of looked like a Sony game. What Sony's MO for games now? Yeah, it's cinematic, narrative driven. Which actually, I love narrative games, so that's kind of my alley.
I mean, but that sort of how many of those games are you gonna keep making?
Particularly, it's kind of in that same sort of vein, that kind of survivory sort of. And I know they probably wanted to be kind of deep and emotional.
Sons of Anarchy meets zombies game,
right?
That's not from. I mean,
and again, I think part of the problem was the fact that we saw it last year.
Right, there again. Another last year moment.
Yeah, and so for that, because for me, even God of War, which, I mean, it's cool, but it's God of War, so, you pretty much know what you're getting into. I like that they expanded some of the narrative focus.
It's God of War. I mean, that's the thing. Like, when we saw, I think last year with God of War, I think everybody just lost their marbles because it was like, whoa, they're doing God of War.
Right, exactly. It's been a while since we've seen it.
And the Olympians are gone. He's in this. He got this little kid doing little kid shit. He's like playing with sticks and stuff. I mean, like that. I mean, because I have a kid too. I mean, I know how that goes. Right. I mean, but now you see it as like, okay, it's God of War again.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's where, and the issue with showing last year and coming back to it, and it wouldn't have been as bad because they'll do that sometimes. They'll announce something one E3, come back extended gameplay demo or mechanic demo the next E3, but that's usually a small segment for the other announcements without the larger announcements to back that up. Kind of it I think brought the show down.
Yeah, God of War. I mean, there again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be dope when it comes out.
Yeah, like I'm sure it'll be fun. Like it's going to be great action for what it is, but especially being hack and slash. I mean, it's just swinging weapons and hitting. So it's not like
you've played this on PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
when you think you played it on PSP.
Yeah,
played it on PS3. You know what I'm saying? Now you played it on PS4. You know what's up,
right?
You know what's going on. Right. So, I mean. We'll see. It's going to be a good game, but it didn't wow me neither.
Yeah. You were talking earlier about Detroit.
You didn't say that was Crystal Dynamics. What is it?
No, it's. I'll look up while we vamp about it. But yeah, I just know it's David Cage who's like the visionary behind it.
Detroit looks good. I mean, out of all the games that's probably the one I'm most excited about. I was excited about it when I heard about it last.
Quantic Dream.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was excited about, that game last year. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
Well, because, I mean, especially with the trailer they did last year, we could see they kind of showed you the different ways they can play out.
right.
And we were kind of talking, like, I like that they had the different options, because that's one thing that's difficult sort of to portray in video games is,
Like choice?
yeah, choice, and kind of like, there's a certain level of creativity that's hard to pull off in games because you have to account for what people can do. So it kind of becomes either they force you to do it or you don't really have the option to do it that well. And so I think they found a decent middle ground where he can shoot where that the android in the trailer this time he can choose to kind of kiss the girl he's with, to kind of hide and blend in, or to hide behind a car. I think if they're able to do that, if that's emblematic of how the game works as far as your choices, I think it's an interesting way to play, at least.
Right.
Like, cause that's what hooked me about the negotiator thing, was like, it was like, oh, how he's going to talk to him, how he, convince him that.
Right.
that
And that's cool. I mean, because what it does, in my mind at least, it creates replayability.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I think that's dope. I mean, graphics is good. They're a single player type deal.
Right.
So I mean, I
like you said, the story for me took a.
they always had good stories. I mean, even like with Heavy Rain.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, and that's what some people, that's why I guess the concern is, will they fix mistakes from Heavy Rain? Will it be engaging, throughout the whole?
I used to want to
game.
play that. My friend, he had Heavy Rain. I didn't even have. I had 360 at the time.
Yeah,
and he had Heavy Rain. I was like, shit, I don't want to spend $400 on 40 gig PS3.
Yeah.
God.
The game looked. The weird thing was, like, the game looked good, and I wanted to play it, but the sense I always got to was people didn't really like it that much. Like, there was.
Once you beat it, you beat it. I mean, and it's like, I mean, can you recommend it? Oh, it was a great game. Why is it great?
Yeah.
Story. That's it.
Right.
It's $60 great. Why not?
Yeah, like that was kind of it was kind of a lukewarm endorsement you usually got from it. So
what was the one that came right after that? It was on PS3. Shattered Soul or
Twist.
Dreams of it.
It's gonna bug me. I'll look it up real quick.
That one was good though. That one was real good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one. I blew through that. I was like, ooh, this is a movie.
Yeah, that was the one with William Dafoe in it, and
Beyond
Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls. Yeah. That
which,
was
I mean, it shows that they had the potential to make some good games.
Yeah.
Like I said, the story for me, it went down a bit because I didn't like it. I didn't want to do another like fight the power story or whatever. That's just because it's overdone or whatever.
Fight the power story.
Well, I mean, it's like, okay, you versus you're a ragtag group of revolutionaries against like evil. Because I thought it was gonna be like sort of a almost like Deus Ex, kind of like more personalized. Even though Deus Ex, especially the newer ones, it went to kind of a global scale, but it was very much individual. Adam Jensen, and he's like a security guard. Something more along those lines, kind of self-contained in Detroit, but. From what I understand, I guess they just show the different aspects of the characters, and it's an interesting concept dealing with the androids that want to become alive, and what do you do with that consciousness? So it's something I want to keep my eye on. I don't know if I want to see it at E3 again next year, unless there's something like
the game better be out.
Major, right? Like either it needs to be out, or keep it quiet for a year or so.
I mean, and you got a lot of keep it quiets this year. To be honest with you, I mean, I'm thinking I could have swore that. Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to
that was a big rumor. Yeah, I'm surprised that we didn't see anything from that.
Well, I'm not too surprised. Remember, they had that ransom.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I think they may have had something to do.
Yeah, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they had to change some things or kind of scrap their plans, because people are crazy, man.
Red Dead Redemption, did they?
Nope, nothing Rockstar. Which, I mean, Rockstar, they don't really do E3.
Yeah,
I know. This is just a complete aside. I know some people are. I guess whatever GTA is doing with their online, they're changing the economy a little bit, so people are upset. So some people are concerned that Take-Two and Rockstar might make Red Dead online and microtransaction focused as opposed to the single-player campaign. So I'm sure whenever a trailer or more information comes out, it'll be probably highly watched, but people will be really keeping an eye on, what they're going to get from that as far as the campaign goes. So I wish it had been at E3, but they didn't show up.
A couple of them that I thought that should have showed up. We were talking about Media Molecules game, the Dream. Game. Didn't, I mean, because it looked very, very interesting last year.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear anything about it. Yeah, it said something. It might be like a free-to-play type.
Right.
I think it would still be interesting.
But I think the big thing is kind of like what you said. If they kind of stealth release it, sort of it's kind of PSX. It's here today. And you're like, oh, okay. I guess I'll go look at it.
What the?
Yeah, like that's
surprise. Please buy us. I hope. That game they didn't show that. Mm-hmm. I mean, Shenmue. Right before E3 even started, it was like it ain't gonna be there.
Right.
I was like, well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
They did have Shadow of the Colossus remaster.
Yeah.
Which did really well. It looked really good because that was one thing that I remember when it was out, I didn't play it, but I remember seeing it like on PS. So it always looked
I heard so much about it. I just never really got it. The
visuals just never got me because it always looked so muddy. Like the way that the art style I didn't like, but seeing the remaster looked really good. A lot of the games
that you see now are all these. I mean, that's why I need people who listen to the Ramen Room to understand it. When it comes to gameplay, I mean, of course, you as a gamer, game enthusiast, whatever your title is, I mean, you're gonna play whatever game you want to play. Mm-hmm. I mean, but this E3 really had a strong focus, on indie. Microsoft touched on it.
Oh yeah,
Nintendo's been, we're going to talk about them here in a few. I mean, but indie is really good. I mean, they have because your AAA's. Mm-hmm. They're starting to go down this thing. It's just the same game. I mean, think about it. Like, I wasn't excited, and it goes back to Microsoft a little bit. I wasn't as excited to see, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe I should be, right?
Right.
I'm supposed to care,
right?
But
I think
I don't care.
I think for me, I think the thing is that indies, at least the good indie games have gotten past, because there was a point where I really didn't like indie games because there was a part back in like 2010 or 11, really maybe as early as 2008, 2009, where we had indies coming out and there's so many of them were like 8-bit pixel art and so the same kind of game.
Corny side scrolling.
Yeah, like I got really burnt out on it. But seeing the indie, breadth of exactly.
This is what indie is. No, indie is was it what's that one? What's that one that kind of like low-key flopped but didn't? No Man's Land.
No Man's Land.
PS4 had the big release. You go to planet to planet, no low screen.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Yeah. I mean, that's a indie title.
Yeah,
real.
That's the stuff we want to see take, or like, I just blanked on what I was thinking of. But yeah, there's certainly some indie games out there that they've taken that progression from all using the same style to they're really kind of branching out.
They branch out and doing.
Yeah. Because we even kind of made fun of it a little bit. When we were watching it at the Microsoft press conference, that like really hipster looking one with the music, but at least the visuals look nice. It looks interesting. It's unique. It's not just a Mario knockoff in 16-bit, whatever. Like it's
Mario knockoff. Hey, and I bet you one thing. I bet you it's gonna sell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, any numbers is better than no numbers. So I mean, I know it's going to do numbers, and it's going to be one of the things. It's going to blow your mind. Like you might go to a friend's house and they have it. You be like, oh shit.
Yeah. It feels like it feels like one of those kind of games, and I think indies are getting good at that. One of those kind of games that are like you just kind of have to experience. You're like your friend's like, hey man, you just have to kind of try this and be like, the game was pretty sweet. Like it's
pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's talk about Spider-Man. It was last.
Oh yeah, that was a closer. Which I mean, I think Sony they did well closing with it, and this is that people really liked it. People were talking about it a lot. I think some people were surprised that it was a closer, but I think overall it was smart to close with it. Yeah. You said you were a little apprehensive about it.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. I mean, well, okay.
Go ahead.
I like Spider-Man.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm gonna get the game regardless.
Yeah.
And of course, people said it had that Batman Arkham Knight type.
Yeah, the combat did look a lot like the Arkham.
Yeah, I mean, because let's be honest, like he's on. I mean, now this is all within the realm of what Spider-Man does. I mean, it's not like
he wasn't breaking bones like Batman. No X-rays, or Batman. He
wasn't breaking bones like Batman. I mean, but he's up there. I mean, he got this. I mean, the whole thing was. I wanted to see open world.
Right.
I didn't want to see this cinematic.
You're right because that's one thing that's always sort of turned me away from Assassin's Creed is that it never felt like I was actually doing anything as much as going to the spot that triggered something to happen or like there's no like button combination that I use to wall climb. I just go like there is, but it's hard to explain. But I never felt like I'm really in control of doing something. So that was kind of a downer with all
that one part where he was chasing the helicopter,
right?
And the like that thing was hitting the walls.
Yeah.
I mean, if he would have got to it like ASAP, like would we have seen all that dialogue, like
right? And that's one thing that go back to Uncharted that they have is the really cinematic QTE moments.
Yeah, the quick time events, man.
Like the huge set pieces, they're fun, but the problem is because you're not really doing anything, it's easy to get desensitized to them and kind of.
Because you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you're kind of like, okay. I mean, you're if you're really into it, you're kind of like, okay, I got to watch for the button press to get it right. But like, it's not like it's happening and you're with Spider-Man like, oh, let me try webbing over here. Let me, you know, like you said, like it's not like you could skip some of that by webbing faster. You know,
that's what I'm like. All right, press L. All right, oh man, I got to press triangle. Right. Then he did that one thing where he was in the sky and then he flipped. Like he did like a flip and he came down and was doing this thing with his with his web shooters and whatnot. I was like, I mean, that's dope.
Yeah,
but
are you actually doing that, or is that just happening in front of you? Like, yeah, you're right. And I think what they would have been better off served. And again, I think they did a good showing, but they would have been better off if they'd have shown an open world section, because that's one of the reasons why people like that Spider-Man 2 movie game so much, is because it was open world and you can swing around. Like, it's one thing I liked about the Ultimate Spider-Man game that came out was, you know, you'd be swinging around and someone gets into trouble, you can stop. Like, that's what people want, especially from most superhero games in general. Certainly from Spider-Man, they should have shown that, because
it definitely should.
Because I think like you said, I think people wouldn't be as concerned with the QTEs if we saw, okay, the rest, that's a certain section, certain missions, or when you're in a mission, this can happen. But outside of a mission, you know, you can swing around and do whatever. You have more freedom.
But I think we just got to see more of the game, and I honestly believe that. I mean, I think we will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
it seems like it's a really big centerpiece game for Sony. Like, it's a major.
And I thought they would have tried to come out along the lines when the movie dropped. I know the movie and the game are not tied,
right? But you know, people talking about Spider-Man, they kind of got the.
You don't want to play with Spider-Man,
right?
Like you go see the movie, like shit. I wish I could go swing on something. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's what you're gonna want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see more.
Yeah, man, I'll give him props. You know, using Mr. Negative just for going at, you know, not a typical villain. Maybe he's probably going to be one of many. Miles showed up. He's supposed to have be able in the game to some degree, a decent degree. I'm glad you can switch costumes. I still don't like that costume they use. I don't like that white.
I like the white.
I don't get it. People like it. I don't too.
I like it.
But I just like the classic red and blue.
Yeah,
so.
you're a classic dude.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not. Don't come to my opinion for about that.
Marvel vs. Capcom. How you feel?
Oh yeah. Well, and we were kind of talking about this. Something about it just seems off. This game, like, I don't want to say, like, I don't want to disparage anyone's work.
The storyline looks so trash.
Yeah, man. But I mean, to be fair, most fighting games don't have
animations. They look ugly.
That's where most people have the problems with this game. Like I said, it feels like they're reusing, and the animations just aren't as good. Like, I don't know if Capcom was kind of like. I hate to disparage people's hard work. I don't want to say they mailed it in or they were lazy, but it feels like they didn't really put 100% into this.
I don't think that they did.
Yeah, and the problem is it's a perfect storm, because you have the issues with Capcom side of character selection, like we were talking about, not getting characters people want, characters that look like they're reusing animations from both sides of the company, and then you have the Marvel side where people aren't liking the roster as much because they're very MCU heavy. Mm-hmm. They want that brand synergy, so there's no mutants, there's few mutants, and then we have to wait for DLC, and they're not doing like the super ultra alpha omega edition this time, so you can't wait it out. You're just gonna have to just buy it. Like,
you can't wait it out.
it's like it's people are really kind of down on this game. Like, it's not looking.
It's not.
And like we were saying, the fighting game that really stole E3 seems to be Dragon Ball FighterZ, and being that 3v3, people are kind of like, it's scratching that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 itch. Yeah. People might switch over to that depending on how.
Yeah, I mean, and rumor has it too. I mean, I don't know if it's like, well, I can't call it rumor, but I mean, I guess the developer has said if people want that game on Switch, all they got to do is ask for it. So here I am.
They need to do it, guys. Like,
I am here at the ramen room. Man, we are using our platform to tell you guys,
put it on Switch, get people
that on that Switch.
But I mean, to me, it just makes sense to be able to be like, hey, you got 2 Switch consoles, boom, wireless play, put the console up, get 2 controllers going. Like, a game like that, fighting games are so easy to set up and so easy to get things going. I mean, all you need is one unit, and you can have like a tournament going. I mean, that's what you usually do, but like. One Switch unit, you got your screen there. No matter where you're at, you can get something going off on that game. Like, to me, that's a smart idea. And and I feel like it would not fill a void, but there's room for it on the Switch.
Right.
It's more customers. To me, it's just smart business to do. They got the buzz right now. They should take advantage of it.
Of course, and that's just, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, like I said, if I'm Capcom, I'm not sure if they listen, but I feel like they should be at least paying attention to that. There's some rumblings that people aren't actually excited about their product. And going back to the Street Fighter V launch issues and everything, some people are really kind of like, Capcom is
slow as. Look, I like Street Fighter. Right? I'm a big fan of Street Fighter. I got a lot of properties, man. I mean, a lot of the fighting games that are coming out now. We talked about a little bit off air about Tekken, how it's just Tekken,
Right?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh man, they've improved. I mean, Eddie Guerrero. I mean, it's improvements galore. I mean, I've been waiting. This game been out for like 2 years, like in the arcade.
You're excited to play with King and
it's like,
Law and.
I mean, it comes out. Not to say it's going to do. I mean, because Tekken has a big following, but
yeah,
I mean, I just feel like it was just delay on delay, and you don't know why when that game came out. So like, you got Tekken, then you got Injustice, which is like blowing.
Yeah.
Like the fighting game.
It really is. Like that's kind of the hotness right now.
That is the hotness.
Yeah.
I mean, and the interesting thing about being the hotness is that, Killer Instinct on Xbox is still adding updates. It still has an active community.
Right. And it's going
really
to Windows.
Yeah. So that's dope to me.
Yeah.
But then you got Marvel vs. Capcom and it's like, it's just, I don't want this shit. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you look at it with this taste, like...
Yeah, I wonder if more...
Suck your teeth at it.
Got anything else?
What else you got on the...
You know what? I don't want a game, so good.
I think I'll pass. I wait for the price drop.
I wonder if more time was spent on, or more resources were spent on the Infinite portion, i.e., as in making the game a service and a platform, a la Street Fighter, and going that route than actual game development. I don't know. Again, I don't want to say they're lazy. I hate saying that because I know they work hard, but it feels like they're mailing this one in a bit.
Well, I mean, I just think right now, and this is the jacked up part.
Yeah.
I think Marvel's kind of stretched. I don't think they're tapped, but I think they're kind of stretched because they know they got that Square Enix game.
Yeah.
That's coming out.
Yeah.
For Marvel,
right?
Was that on the floor? Was that on the?
No,
did they even talk about that?
No, not that I recall.
That's trifling. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, we found about that game last year, didn't we? Like,
right.
So why are we not talking about it?
Yeah, like you think it has something, and and I don't know, and maybe what I hope, but I hope the problem
guys.
is
I want you to think I ain't watched. I don't want people to think I ain't watched the conference, but it really was last Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's what was our?
I mean, last Monday.
Yeah,
about 7 days ago.
Yeah. There's a lot to catch up on too, man.
Oh yeah. Big fail right here. Destiny 2.
Yeah.
Why the hell are we looking
at
this game?
Because they got the marketing deal, man. They gotta make it worth it. But you're right. That was, and it's actually it's funny you mention that because I feel like it's been because they're going to say this during the show, they have to, but I think going back to it being a fail, after the presentation that comes out, Sony's getting the DLC first before PC and Xbox players, and people are really upset about that because there's still content that's not gone out to the other player bases.
Right.
It's still exclusive on PlayStation. Now it's supposed to be, I think some people are saying it's supposed to be out when Destiny 2 comes out, but I'm not getting DLC for in the first game when you just released a sequel. And the fact that they're doing it again, people are really, and with Anthem having a good showing,
it's like, do we care?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I think Destiny kind of people are going to buy it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I might just be one of those guys that get it because I'm a feed into the hype. I'm a hype train type of guy.
Well, and if your friends are getting it, you're like, hey, I'll hop on,
see what's going on.
Right.
Probably get some items from a Titan, call it a day. Just be out there doing shit with the fellas.
Right. Right. And the game isn't bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so
it's not. But it's like we knew this was coming. Like,
right.
I mean, there again, we already saw the trailer back in April.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it blew everybody's mind. The fact that it looked like the first game. It's like people thought, look, this game was designed with the Xbox One and PS4 in mind.
Yeah.
And it was the same goddamn game.
Yeah. I was like, that's what they were saying. They're like, yeah, we're getting rid of the PS3, Xbox 360 versions, round up, and it's just like, oh, this is the game, huh? This is the game.
It's the same. This could have been an update. This could have been an update.
That's actually, I'm surprised that Destiny didn't do that. Turn into like sort of a MMO style, just big expansion. Yeah. Just now, granted, maybe it's probably for the best because who knows if PC and Xbox players wouldn't get Destiny 2 update until next year if that was the case. But yeah, I do think, as you said, it was kind of a fail. I think overall, I mean, it had a good showing, but I don't think it did itself any favors.
How about Lawbreakers?
I'm trying to think, which one was Lawbreakers?
Yeah, pull up Lawbreakers. Just take it. It's a first person shooter type. It's real fast.
I'm trying to picture. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, take a look at it. Lawbreakers is like a first-person shooter. Like it's hard. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm gonna let him look at it as we talk about something else. We're gonna come right back. How about Knack 2?
I mean, it's Knack too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a knack for that.
You got a knack for that. Yeah.
Let me see what else did they have on there, man. I just, I mean, for those Sony, I mean, they could have had Kingdom Hearts 3 on there.
Yeah, I mean, if Square has anything done for that, man,
they already had the trailer.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I wonder how much farther. Yeah, you're right. Because actually, before release, they did have that thing.
They had that trailer for it. I'm like, damn, that could have been on the Sony stage.
Yeah.
That would have made sense.
Yeah, that would have.
But I guess, I mean, it kind of makes me wonder, like, what's going on. Like, when it comes to development like that,
right?
Do they not put it on the Sony stage because it's going to be for Xbox One and PS4, possibly even Switch?
No, because didn't they announce it on Sony stage?
No,
I thought
that came out before Sony came. That came out. That came out like on around EA's, because EA did it that Friday.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like when they originally announced Kingdom Hearts 3 and like when they were. I could have swore that the thought was that it might have been potentially PlayStation exclusive until it was like, no, it's coming out for Xbox. And
I remember the trailer. Yeah, it might have been on Sony. It might have been on Sony stage originally, but now it's off.
Yeah, well, I think honestly, maybe Sony just didn't want. Maybe they didn't want them on there. Like they were like,
and then,
without something concrete to show or without a release date, it would just have been okay, more Kingdom Hearts, but.
Yeah.
So what?
I mean, I just think that I don't know. We'll see what Kingdom Hearts, man. Hopefully that does come out. There's another one I wish that will come. I mean, it just makes sense to be on the Switch, I believe. Kingdom Hearts at least.
Oh yeah. Hopefully they treat Nintendo a little better than they do on Xbox and do that re-release for the remasters of like Kingdom Hearts. Like what's it? Are they doing? I think it's like what 2.8. Yeah, whatever with the other games. And
that would be smart. So people who haven't had a chance,
right?
Because that re-release, that 2.8 has like like the Vita, not the Vita game, like Dream Drop Distance, Birth by Sleep,
right?
So I mean, some of those games, especially Dream Drop Distance, it was on the 3DS,
right?
Birth by Sleep was on what, PSP?
Yeah,
damn,
yeah. I'll tell you, man, it's a weird series that I'm surprised they haven't got the 3 yet on it, but. Yeah, like I said, they're not releasing it for Xbox. Hopefully, if they do Kingdom Hearts 3, for which I hope they do, for the Switch, they'll also get the 2.8 on the Switch. I was looking at footage of Lawbreakers. Looks interesting. Like a fun Twitch shooter kind of.
Yeah, it's a fast type. That's like PC, PS4.
Yeah.
So it's like another one that Microsoft won't begin.
Yeah. I mean, now maybe it's only a console launch exclusive, kind of like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds on Xbox and some of their PC stuff they're sharing.
We'll definitely take a look at that again and see what's going on. I think Cars 3 had just recently came out. Nobody cares. Sea of Thieves, I was on Xbox. What am I thinking about?
So yeah, I mean, I guess kind of to put a bow on the PlayStation conference. I thought, like I said, I expected more from them. And even going to like you mentioned going online, I saw the PS4 subreddit. There were a lot of people who were kind of disappointed. There wasn't there wasn't like another, especially after the last couple of years they've had, which I may or may not just agree with how people view some of the announcements, but they had big buzz for announcements. They had Shenmue on stage. They had Crash Bandicoot. They're talking about they had all these things that really hit the fans with something excitement, and they kind of lacked it this year,
right? To
me, and I don't, like I said, I know I read somewhere
it definitely lacked, but I'll tell you what they're going to excel though, and I believe they're going to excel. E3 is a trade show. Let's be honest. It's more than just a game show and what new games is coming out. It's a trade show.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's on every company to push every aspect of their business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you as a consumer can know or have an idea. I mean, E3 was designed really for people like Toys R Us.
Right. Yeah. Really. For Toys R Us and Best Buy to be like, hey, this is what we got coming out. You need to put this on your shelves because we've got.
Yeah, we need 18 cases of Destiny 2.
Don't forget that they used to do sales figures. Yeah. Even recently, like in modern times, they would do like, oh, we've sold 20 million units this year, and almost like you said, really sort of business first and.
Yeah, it's business. I mean, and they opened up E3 this year, guys, was open to the public like for the first time in like 10 years or something, like 12 years, something stupid. Yeah. I mean, but it was closed to. I mean, and Xbox had. I remember Xbox like year before last, Microsoft had opened it up. They had like their friend pass or their gamer pass.
Oh,
or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
They had like 500, Xbox fanatics be able to come in and check out, which I thought was dope. So I think E3 was like, you know what, we just need to open this bank back up,
Right? Because
people watch
because
this.
EA does that.
Yeah.
Sony, Sony's had things. Ubisoft
Yeah.
had kind of an event. I remember a few years ago,
Yeah,
bringing fans in. It was kind of funny because I was just thinking about Sony's press conference and kind of kind of summing it up was I remember they would take shots to the crowd, and normally I'm sure they were expecting people to be pretty raucous, but most people were kind of just sitting there. Like the excitement just did not seem to be there.
Yeah, that's Sony Kodak. Ooh, they look like they was. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, where's the hype?
I'm a Wadi. I'm gonna win.
So go into the
because Nintendo, you said you picked them as your winners of of the show.
Yeah,
so
overall.
what put you in that position?
I think it was just like just to have that connection with their fans.
Yeah.
With the invitationals and whatnot.
Yeah, like I said,
Treehouse.
I think definitely because I was going to say, and I'm bringing it up now. I was going to bring it up later, but I think as far as actual presentation of the show, my favorite was Bethesda. I like Bethesda. I thought at the very least it was a clever way to do it without having awkward people on stage talking. But yeah, I think Nintendo, as far as fan experience and fan engagement, was clearly the best because, like you said, they had. I remember, like I said, we were talking off air. I didn't even know what happened about the ARMS finals, but I overheard someone talking about it. That's how big it had kind of gotten. Like that's what you want.
Yeah, is that essentially? Exactly. They had. Because they announced. It's stuff like this may not. It may go over people's heads really. But like the amiibos, the 4 amiibos that you can only pre-order, and they only get so many. Like you have to pre-order at like GameStop or something like that.
Right.
So if you haven't done it already, and you like amiibos, they got the four champions. From Zelda,
right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So there again, that's part of the Nintendo business,
right?
So we got amiibos on deck, right?
Yeah,
we got that Rabbids and Mario game,
which I'm really excited for. Like when it was first announced at Ubisoft, I was like, whatever. But seeing as I thought about it and seeing it more in action, just the way it plays, kind of like XCOM, that it seems like I think a really interesting idea to really change the Mario formula and put it in a different kind of genre, and I think that would. I said to me, it got me intrigued.
It looks good. I might have to slide. But in the back of your mind, these are games that are coming out. That's another reason why I believe that they won. Because Sony shot themselves in the foot last year by saying, "Oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII remake. Oh yeah, Shenmue 2, Shenmue 3. Yeah." Oh, and then you never see them.
Right.
And then everything that you see in Nintendo, besides Pokemon and Metroid Prime 4,
which we didn't even see. So technically,
but
get away with everything you see.
Stuff like that you really don't, because it's coming and it's only coming there.
Right.
And, So probably, sometime between now and next E3, maybe like in a Direct or something like that, you might see some Metro Prime 4.
Yeah.
But it wasn't even the Metro Prime 4 that was exciting. It was the Return of Samus that was dope.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, the gameplay was gorgeous,
right.
and that was an amazing game. It was on Super Nintendo, so it's like,
whoa. Super Mario Odyssey had a really good showing. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of people giving it kind of their game of the show.
Right.
And like I said, they showed off the hat stuff. I think they did a good job of expanding on what we already knew.
Yeah.
To give us a good idea of what you're going to be doing. It looks like I don't know if it's Mario 64 levels of like that level of Mario game, but it looks like another great like Mario mainline title like Mario for your console.
And then you got Splatoon of next month.
Yeah.
Then you of course you have FIFA that comes out in September.
Yeah.
And then you got Mario Odyssey in October.
Right.
And that's gonna that won on many other publications. I think IGN they even stated that that's their game of E3. Now that award may not mean much to anybody. Not really. Because it's like but to me, in our space, I think it to be something that should be, commended, because it's like people wanted to see this. They wanted to play this game, and when they did, they enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Certainly, it lends
you
credence to the idea that people, the general positive vibe about it. It's credence to that.
And that's what makes the Sony games, the interactive movie type games, hard to. Because who the hell wants to go to an E3? You go there and play Days Gone on the floor. How far are you going to get?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not a great environment to really immerse yourself in that. Versus like Mario, you hop in, you're bouncing around. You're
doing the hat, you're jumping on people, jumping in dinosaur bodies, and that's that's dope to
Yeah.
me.
No, you're right.
I mean, I would like to have a hands on, and they, Nintendo has been really good in doing stuff like, they didn't do it this year,
Right.
but I think last 2 years they've had it to where when they have these treehouse events and whatnot, they'll have like a thing with Best Buy where you as a gamer can go to your local Best Buy and partake
Right.
in their treehouse kind of event. I think they focus more on the invitational and esport concept with
Right.
ARMS and Pokken Tournament.
Right. Which I mean, the ARMS is the big release, so
Yeah.
they're obviously going to push that.
And
But
I mean, yes, I know you guys want to know. I got ARMS. Yes, I do. Is it great? It's probably going to be my fighter of the year. I said it.
yeah, I mean, look, it's fun. Now, again, I haven't spent enough time with it. You have, so a lot of it's going to depend on the legs, like how, like even just not just a level of depth and complexity, but just how long can you play that game and still enjoy it? And your how into it will your hardcore get? But yeah, no, definitely, it's definitely at least in my book a contender because it's a fun game. Like it's
fun.
and it's innovative and different enough without that being a crutch for it. Like it's like being innovative and different isn't just enough, but it is.
It has a layer.
Different.
I mean, it has accessibility, but
Right.
it has depth as well.
Right.
And that seems to be like a going thing. It's like a thing for Nintendo. Like it's an easy game. You can just buy the game. You can play it with your son, your
Right.
daughter, your wife, whatever. But then you can really whoop their ass because you don't understand the complexity.
Right,
of the game.
like Smash.
Like
like
Smash.
Smash, yeah. Like Smash
You know
is
what I
easy
mean?
to jump in and play, but you can really dig deep and
and really become like
Yeah.
that next level. And I mean, it's kind of hard to get that in any your straight traditional fighter. I mean, you have your quarter circle forward, your dollar combo. We talked about this in recent episodes, but it just it works.
Yeah.
It works for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they have what else did they have? They have
Well, like I said, what you're thinking what else they have? I will say, to be fair, I was disappointed that they mentioned Pokemon but didn't show it. I just wish you wouldn't say anything at that point.
I think they're just waiting on a direct. I mean,
Yeah.
they had to say something because up until now.
Well, I mean, to me, I'm
You
like,
didn't know
it's
it existed. So
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't in Nintendo fashion, and they even kind of like cleared it up
yeah,
a little bit
Yeah.
in the video. It was a 25-minute video,
okay,
and everybody knows that Microsoft they went over their 90-minute
yeah,
normal.
yeah. Sony's was like hour 15.
about hour 15.
Yeah.
and, they was 25 minutes in a treehouse.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it works. It's to the point.
You're right, right.
But they said in the video, they was like, we really don't like talk about games that's coming out like the next couple of years.
Right, but it just seems weird to mention it because I appreciate them doing that because, like you said, I think that definitely to me gave points in their favor for one of the best showings because they weren't a bunch of games that were like 2-3 years off. It was like, hey, you're getting this game this year, maybe next year, but it was pretty.
You're getting this game next month.
Yeah,
I mean, they gave you two important releases. They gave you Splatoon in July. They gave you the Rabbids in August.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the summer right there.
right. Yeah,
I mean, wow! I forgot when Pokken Tournament comes out.
yeah. I don't recall offhand myself.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, are you getting
Look
all
it
these
up.
games? You getting all these games? It's something to look forward to, and
Right.
and that's the industry that we're in. You know what I mean? Like we ended to play games. I mean, you get Xenoblade, too, which is going to be in December.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying?
which I love that trailer. Like I think they did a good job
it's-
showing that off. I was excited seeing that.
I'm a big fan of Xenoblade. Shout out to Monolith Soft, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw little pieces in there that remind me of the Zohar in
Yeah.
Xenoblade. Not Xenoblade, but Xenogears. So, I was like, man, Nintendo, it landed, it came and saw it and conquered to me. Now, a lot of people think
September 22nd is when the Pocket Tournament DX is.
see,
Yeah,
that's
that's
crazy.
that is good. That's and the thing is,
every
though,
month.
we're not the only ones. A lot of people have noticed. Like a lot of people have been saying how better it is to cut down the 3-year hype cycle. Just say the game comes out in a year at most. And, get
that 3-year hype cycle.
because I mean, again, not to get off topic, but that's what did, and I think a lot of launch games like Watch Dogs. We saw it like 2 or 3 years in a row before it finally came out. People were tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
Then it came out and didn't meet expectations. Like
It doesn't meet expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what because and that's what's going to help pad, Nintendo's, the Switch,
Mhm.
as the indie titles, So I mean, even when you got the staggered release of games that's coming from first party,
Right.
think about it. When you really think about that, that's a lot of first party.
Right.
That's a lot of exclusivity.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's no question. You can say what you want, but there's no question. Xbox can say exclusive all they want,
Right.
but that Anthem is coming to PS4.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like, I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
You know it's coming. So when it comes to Nintendo, it's like I know this ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know, how would it? Why
Right.
would it? They had Sonic Forces also. They talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's going to be on multiple consoles.
Right.
So I mean, there again. I mean, hats off to Nintendo. Ubisoft, you said Bethesda. I don't know you're going to go into them.
Yeah.
I'll let you lead
I was
that.
gonna say, yeah, Bethesda. I thought they had a good presentation. I liked Wolfenstein because I enjoyed the New Order. I didn't play Bad Blood. I never got around to picking it up, but the I can't remember the subtitle. But for the new Wolfenstein, they announced looked really good. The guns sounded great. Looked like a lot of action. It's kind of the over top, really violent gunplay. You know, it doesn't look really good in that round. I'm trying to think what else stood out to me. Skull and Bones stood out to me only because, you know, saw the Thieves like the previous day, and the ship combat, the naval combat, and the multiplayer from Assassin's Creed 4, which is what it looks like they just took basically that and made a game out of it. People really like that portion of Assassin's Creed 4. So it looks like it's kind of an online thing. A lot of it's going to be up to what can you do. You know, how does it actually play using that big clunky ship? You know, how does it feel? You know, using combat. What, you know, they showed sort of like a Kraken type of giant squid. You know, is there a lot of that? A lot of things to be answered, but I'll give Ubisoft credit for, you know, seeing what people liked and kind of embracing and leaning into that. I think that was pretty good.
He said racing and leading into it.
Yeah, embracing.
Now we didn't talk about this in the Microsoft episode. I don't think we knew. Yeah, we did. The crossplay thing.
Oh yeah.
Rocket League.
Oh yeah.
And,
Switch. It's kind of been blown up as a topic.
Now, I've heard some rumblings out in the industry, you know, in the mean streets of the internet, and they've talked about how you may need, and I'm gonna throw out what I've heard, and then next episode I'll confirm. So jot it down for me if you don't mind. But,
all right.
To do the crossplay, you would have to have an Xbox Live like account.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you got a Switch and you're a Switch only gamer, you got to have an Xbox Live account to crossplay.
That'd be. I said I haven't researched. That'd be if they did that. I think it'd be ridiculous for them to
be stupid.
Have that stipulation. Yeah, like, what's the point? Like, you're not going to get them to subscribe and pay for Xbox Live.
Right, it wouldn't be no point. I mean, especially
if you don't have the console. So
if you're going to be paying $20 a year for Nintendo's, you know, by next year, and all of a sudden you got to start. You know, you gotta get your $60 subscription together for Xbox.
Right? Yeah, like that'd be ridiculous. Like, no one would sign up for that.
But you may need just an account, just like an account. Now, one thing that I've seen also, and this is going way into Microsoft what we did. I thought we would be done with it, but I did want to mention that they got the new avatars.
Oh yeah. They did announce those. People seem to really like them, particularly the fact that they're they have they
got the pregnant version.
Yeah, and like limbs missing. Like people like their nice representation.
So I think Nintendo definitely hit it out the park. Of course, what they could improve on, of course, you still want to have that third party support. I mean, you can first party it all day long if you want to.
Right.
But nigga, if I can't play, I said a boo boo.
Well, edit that.
The N word.
Yeah.
Edit it out. No, don't worry about keeping it. You know, if you can't play Madden on your Switch, I mean, you're gonna hate it. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I mean, it helps, especially if you're not a multi-console household or you're trying to get something for the family. You know, if you're like, okay, well, we had a console, but your kids want to play, you know, Madden, like you said, or Call of Duty or whatever, and they can't do it. It makes it hard to justify that to be your console. You're gonna be like, well, I need to go PS4, Xbox One because there's more games that they want to play. That because I remember sitting there as a kid looking at deciding if I wanted an Xbox or a GameCube. And I was basically going on a list of games I had in this magazine, basically counting up how many games I wanted, whichever one had more is the one I got. So I mean that you got to have access.
Interesting though? I think Nintendo's most interesting month, I would say, is going to be September.
Yeah,
because they get 2K18,
right.
They get FIFA and then Pokken Tournament.
Yeah, it's a good big month.
That's a month, you know, and that's the type of month you really don't see on other consoles or platforms, you know, because I mean you might think about it. Back in March, Sony had the Horizon Zero Dawn, and then Nintendo had Zelda. Those are the two big games. They had Neo, and Near Automata.
Right.
You know. But it wasn't like universal, like AAA like titles. You know, like with a first party, like those weren't first party. It's just exclusive to PlayStation 4.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they're niche.
Yeah.
Period. You know, those are the sports games that have universal acclaim, especially FIFA, and the people like it 2K. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then you got Pokken Tournament. So I keep wanting to call it Pokken. Also, before I forget, the DLC packs that come out to Zelda.
Yeah.
I think the first one come out the end of this month, I believe. Mm-hmm. The next one's in the winter.
Right.
And the that's one thing that they could have did too. I mean, what I thought they should have done, even though we already know that the online is coming next year. Yeah. We should at least got like something to look at.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, things at least more concept images. Something more to give us an idea of what we'll be getting into. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just kind of close it up. Looking at the games, Ubisoft shut off The Crew 2. Yeah, it's okay. I wasn't big into The Crew. They have that weird like VR experience thing. No. That like I don't know. Again, it's a hard sell if you already don't have VR. So I wouldn't pick up VR for that.
No, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what this. But Phil Spencer talks about it all the time. Like, we don't know who wants to use VR. I mean, because it's expensive.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's not. It's not an incorrect thing to say because you're right. It's expensive and it's still kind of missing that killer app. That's like. You have to get this game. Like you have to.
And that's been Nintendo's thing is like, do we really need to focus on that? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, do we really need to? Like, I don't know. VR is different. I don't have no friends who got VR.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? Like most people I doubt know somebody who has VR. Like you
I'd like to meet you.
Yeah. I know people bought it. We talked about Sony, they mentioned the numbers they sold pretty well in the VR, but like I mean it's
I just never really see.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird novelty. Like
I guess you get over it.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, somebody out there right now has spent, $400 on their PS4 Pro, $400 on their PSVR. That's $800.
Yeah,
$800, guys. It's $200 more than the PS3 initial price.
Yeah. I mean that's a lot of money to spend.
It's a lot of moolah. Then you gotta buy the software.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's the first time I mentioned it, and it's true. It's not like VR is the thing where you can sit down for like 6 hours and have just bang out like a marathon session. Like like when you have those days and you just sit down, you start playing a game, you look up and the whole day's gone. Like VR, you're not gonna do that because you'll be like, I might go get sick or something. Before
you take off your helmet, like I can't see.
Don't know it's reality anymore.
Man. Call the doctor. $400 eye transplant. But nah, man. I mean, in closing, this really wraps up the E3 of 2017.
Yeah, to me, it was I think an overall disappointing E3 because there were interesting games, but there was nothing that like I remember going to Ubisoft and like you get your Just Dance and the Crew, but there was no Splinter Cell. I mean, like I don't know. Skull and Bones was a cool new IP, but there was nothing there. There was no one game at any really show. Like, there were a lot of games I liked, but nothing that I was just like blowing my mind. I know a lot of people liked Anthem, so I'll give credit to BioWare for that. But like Star Wars, they didn't show off the single player, which I really wanted to see. Sony didn't have anything. Nintendo actually probably did the best job, but I mean EA, there wasn't really anything. Like it was just kind of like okay. Yeah, like it wasn't.
I don't know if they did that type of thing on purpose so they can keep people like that. I mean, because E3 is like the biggest. I told you, like my favorite was Gamescom, but
yeah,
I do like Tokyo Game Show.
Right.
E3 just didn't have it this year.
Yeah,
next year, Lord knows what's going to be next.
Right.
But we'll see.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah. Fire Emblem Warriors too.
Actually, I did see that. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah,
like, it's
definitely want to get. Nintendo's been putting a lot of money in it.
What?
Fire Emblem. Nintendo's been putting a lot of money into Fire Emblem.
You said they're going to?
They have been. I mean, Smash Brothers is Fire Emblem Brothers. look at it.
Fire Emblem. You're right. Fire Emblem Brothers.
I mean, but I mean, question for you before we go.
Yeah.
Overall, best conference. Go.
Overall, probably Nintendo. Definitely the most excited.
Overall? That's just Bethesda.
Well, Bethesda to me had the best presentation.
Okay, so overall it's Nintendo?
Yeah.
Mine's Nintendo. Who's your second?
Second, Microsoft.
Mine, man, that leaves Sony.
Yeah. Hey,
third.
Yeah.
I like to hear people's take on that.
Yeah, let us know. Like, how would you rank it?
Who think, because usually we don't do this. We don't agree all the time. Yeah. I mean, you would think I'm a fanboy out. Yeah. But I want to hear those opinions from people who believe Sony to have the best conference. Tell me why.
Yeah,
I'm open.
I'm just curious just to know. What did they do that you like so much?
Yeah,
or
what spoke to you?
Yeah.
It couldn't have been Marvel vs. Capcom. That is shit. Hello. But yeah, man, my name's Hassan Hancock, the comedian. I got Randall Williams here. And guess what, guys? We out.
Peace.
Peace out.